Different.
This is completely different. Yeah, that was a lot
and
about...
now for something completely different, as Monty Python would say.
Now, this is what makes my job so exciting. And this is now we're back in the way more serious part of our business. Like I said in the very beginning, Nikolai Bikes is our sister brand. It's owned by Kalle Nikolai, obviously. But now I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Universal Transmissions, which is a company you've probably never heard of. But we're not brand new to the market. The company was founded roughly 14 years ago. Initially, it was the first company that has actually used belt drives on bicycles, also initiated by Kalle Nikolai with some progressive ideas of thinking out of the box, trying to find something different than a chain that we can use to actually drive our bikes. And out of this idea, UT has grown into a full-scale industry partner. So most of the things we do at Universal Transmissions is something that you won't be able to see in the shop. And here at this part of our booth, we're showcasing one of our youngest brands or additions to our business unit, and it's Helios Drive Systems. Helios Drive Systems is a brand that we have developed over the last year and a half, and in short, it is a electric drive system component package for light electric vehicles. So for all of us cyclists out there, that's probably a term that we don't use that often. Light electric vehicles are the definition of everything above your standard e-bike and below an electric car. So it could be anything from an S-pedelec, from a cargo bike, what we see here, or electric mopeds, electric dirt bikes, an electric scooter, or even microcars. Some of you who live in metropolitan areas or have traveled to metropolitan areas have probably seen small electrified four-wheel cargo vehicles. This is an area that's typically called last mile delivery. It's when downtown London shuts down for trucks.
Yeah.
You actually have to use something small, probably electric powered because of emission regulations. And all these vehicles are powered by very small and efficient drivetrains. Yeah. And these are the units that actually we create. Helios Drive Systems is the only supplier of a complete drive system. So all these industries that we're talking about here, which could be the automotive industry, motorcycle industry, or even other commercial purposes, they are not used to work with component suppliers that we are used to in the bike industry. There's no SRAM or Shimano in these worlds. So typically, if Guy Kesteven is building an electric motorcycle, you would have to source...
Don't tell people.
Oh, okay, no. Spoiler alert.
There's the Easter egg.
Typically, you would have to source your motor from one supplier, then the battery from another, then the controller from a third party, potentially, which makes the whole process very complicated. And it also adds a lot of work on the side of the vehicle manufacturer. And also because these vehicles are mostly designed to also be street legal, there's a couple compliance hurdles that need to be overcome. So if you just put a motor on the motorcycle that you want to sell, you have to make sure that this component is part of the whole street legal package and it's compliant with your country's regulations and so on. And this is something that we all package in one package and provide to that industry. Now, here's a good example of a use case that is easy to understand for everybody who is riding bikes. So cargo bikes have been around for a long time. This is actually a Santos bike. So it's the first cargo bike that is equipped with a Helios Drive Systems drivetrain. electric cargo bikes have been around for a while now, but they do have their limitations. One limitation is the maximum power output of an e-bike motor system, and the other limiting factor is the allowed total payload, which is 250 kilos. But if you think about these vehicles, if you think about potential rider weight and the cargo you want to carry, you can easily find examples where this maximum allowed payload is exceeded. And therefore, we have designed a drive system that works with a hub motor that has way more torque, way more power output than anything you will find on a regular bicycle. Technically, this falls under the classification of a speed pedelec, even though it's not supposed to go 45 kilometers per hour, but you can easily haul weights of 300 kilos and more, even up hills.
Yeah.
Without ruining your bicycle, drivetrain, chain, cassette, and all these components would be totally overwhelmed with the task.
Yeah.
So this is an example of what Helios drive systems do. And it's a Universal Transmissions owned brand, and just like everything we talked about at Nikolai, we're also proud here at Universal Transmissions that we're doing everything in-house except for manufacturing battery cells or manufacturing electric motors. But we do have a big team of engineers. We do everything from designing the batteries, prototyping, embedded software development. All these things are basically taken care of by our own group to be able to control everything we want the product to do at the end. And it makes us agile and flexible, and it's actually a lot of fun.
It means you can carry beer.
It can carry Fritz Cola.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's Fritz Cola.
Or beer.
Yeah.
Or actually, I envision like a 70-liter keg of beer in the front with a little tap on.
Yeah, not a Camelback tube.
Something like that. Yeah, and then maybe your trip to the next bike festival.
Exactly.
You got your backpack with all your essentials and a lot of beer in the front.
Exactly. Viking raiding.
Yeah. Here's an example of yet another business unit under the umbrella of Universal Transmissions. It's also the newest addition to our portfolio. And it's basically all around batteries and battery cells. Lion Energy is a Chinese leading manufacturer of battery cells, and they are a leader in battery cell technology. And like with most of the other battery cell manufacturers, you've never heard about them. You've never heard of them because the battery cell is the most essential component of your e-bike, because without the battery cell, there's no energy.
Doesn't matter what
that
motor or power output you have.
Right? Yeah. But it's always embedded in a battery pack.
Yeah.
And as a consumer, as a rider, you'll never see it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Unless you break it open, hopefully, yes. And it's also nothing, no aspect of, well, it's nothing that people use to sell the bike to you.
Yeah.
So it's not commonly known. And for us initially, when we came across these battery cells, we were thinking about energy sources for Helios drive systems.
Yeah.
But as soon as we started working with their battery cell technology, we understood that this has potential to be the next standard in e-bike batteries. And it might be a little complex, but I tried to break it down in a few steps. So, first of all, if you look at this display over here, you see those blue rectangular pieces sitting there. These are actually battery cells. Your battery cells are typically round shaped, so cylindrical cells. That's the classic shape of a battery cell,
which isn't very efficient.
Which
in terms
isn't
of space. It's efficient in terms of volume for each cell, but
exactly. And this is exactly one of the aspects that we are looking at here, the cylindrical form and the space. So obviously we don't want our e-bike down tubes to be ginormous and take off a lot of volume, because it can be in a way of your frame design. It can also just be in the way of aesthetics. And at the same time...
And ride quality.
And ride quality, obviously. So what makes these cells so unique is, first of all, the shape. This form is called a pouch cell. It's basically flat. It looks like a chocolate bar.
Yeah.
But you can't eat it, obviously. But it contains way more energy than chocolate. The battery cell chemistry actually makes for a much higher energy density. Maybe some of you have heard energy density as a general term when you talk about the battery. That's basically what describes how much power is captured into a specific volume or weight.
Yeah.
So energy density could be watt hours per liter or watt hours per kilogram.
Yeah.
But because we've never used these terms and numbers, I'm not trying to go deeper into any of the details here. But in short, with these battery cells and with a technology that we have developed at Universal Transmissions to help the industry to actually use those cells in a battery, which is a tricky part that we never touch because we never talk about it in the industry, we'll be able to we are able to provide a battery module that is 30% smaller compared to an existing configuration at the same watt-hour capacity.
Wow.
Or 30% lighter.
Yeah.
And depending on the configuration, both parameters are kind of like at this level, which is
30% more power in the same space.
If you want to have more capacity, that's also possible. So, if some bikes go up to 900 watt hours these days, because some people have the need to go a very long distance, or they just want to climb 1,000,000 meters of altitude on their alpine trips, which is super cool. But the bikes turn out to be so heavy and have such a ginormous long battery pack, which affects ride quality because the center of gravity is really offset, and it goes all the way up to your top tube, to your head tube, which makes the bike feel kind of awkward, like a moped.
Yeah.
And at the same time, when you don't need all of the capacity, you're still carrying around a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So it would be wonderful to actually have the capacity, but don't carry around this ginormous battery pack. And this is what's possible with these battery cells and with our technology to apply them in an e-bike.
So are you using these in the Nikolais yet?
Not yet. This is very, very future-oriented.
Yeah.
We just introduced this technology to the market, which in this case it's not the market of, in terms of bike brands, but to the e-bike system manufacturers.
Okay.
So basically, if you want to put it that way, we are the supplier of the supplier.
Right.
In this case.
Yeah.
And you can all imagine that, all these development steps and production steps always taking up a lot of time. We will probably see the first bikes equipped with this technology in about 2 years' time, the earliest. But I think it's still worth mentioning and introducing it to you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You saw it here first.
You saw it here first. That's actually true. And
I think a lot of people are kind of wondering why there hasn't been more development in battery and stuff like that. Because motors have obviously got smaller and more powerful, but the actual cells and the batteries haven't.
So far, they have been perfect for the job.
Yeah.
But like everything is
with more demand,
moving on with developments. The demand for the battery cell is changing with exactly what you said, with more powerful motor systems, with more people asking for lighter weight bikes.
Yeah.
Minimal assist bikes are great.
Yeah.
If you ride a lightweight e-bike, it just feels more nimble, it feels more natural, but they have clear limitations with the capacity of the battery. So to make the best out of all the ideas that motor manufacturers come up with, or even bike brands with their new ideas and designs, this is an essential component that will enable them to move a step further into the future of e-bikes.
Yeah. So we've literally gone from innovation from right at the start of this century.
Yeah,
Well, since 90s. Yeah. No, hang on. No.
pretty much.
So we've gone from innovation from like 30 years ago all the way through like looking a couple of years ahead
Yeah,
with this
exactly.
bike and battery technology,
Right.
and all under the Nikolai umbrella. Well,
All
under
under
the Calais Nikolai
All
umbrella.
on the one person's umbrella and his vision
Yeah.
for always developing things further
Yeah.
and never stopping to try to push the boundary.
And now we're on to the final part of the puzzle.
The final part of the puzzle.
But again, something that's been around for a long, long time. Belt drive bikes, but traditionally been kind of a utility bike thing. Bit of an esoteric thing for some like gearboxy guys, riding hard, slightly weird hardtails, that kind of thing. And now suddenly, front and center of the most exciting race format, arguably,
Yeah.
I think, in terms of kind of excitement per minute, anyway. World Cup downhill.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, like you said, yet another different business unit under the UT umbrella. Also something that Kalle Nikolai initiated with one of his ideas, trying to find an alternative to existing components. The belt drive system on a bicycle, like you said, typically lives on commuter bikes, hardtails, and it really shines with its advantages for the everyday user.
Yeah.
It's just in one word, it's just the reliability of it
Yeah.
and the ease of use. You don't have to lube it.
Cleanliness.
It's just
Quiet,
there.
It's clean, it's quiet, it's reliable.
Once it's there, you don't have to touch it. And you don't ruin your pants if it's too greasy, and it's never going to be rusty, and it's easy to clean. So all of these benefits are known to mostly everybody out there. But like you said, for the downhill racing world, it's kind of new. I'm pretty sure everybody who follows the Downhill World Cup just a little bit had a hard time missing this story this year, and it's called the Gates 100K Belted Purse Challenge, and it's a pretty bold move, I guess, but also super cool in a way. We all know all of the downhill racers out there, and we know that these are full on the most professional athletes that you can imagine. And now think about the salaries and the prize money they get for winning a World Cup. It's crazy. And
I mean, we're talking crazy poor, rather than crazy
poor.
good.
Crazy poor.
Just to make that clear, yeah.
Okay, sorry, yeah. So it's not soccer, it's not Formula One, but
No.
these are still athletes that do the same job every day, year in and year out, and they're risking life and limb. So basically, the manager of Gates in the US said, you know what, let's have an impact here.
Yeah.
And let's make sure that we're not only providing a benefit to the product and use of the product, but to the racers and basically to honor the racers' efforts.
Yeah.
And so the 100K Belted Purse Challenge, in short, is actually 100,000 euros prize money for the first elite woman or man in the Downhill World Cup. If you win a World Cup on a belted bike, you get 100,000 euros.
Yeah, you're taking...
That's pretty cool, I
That
guess.
is super cool, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could have bought 100,000 euros worth of advertisement on a website.
Yeah.
That's not the approach.
Put it on Facebook or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I thoroughly endorse
Yeah,
this kind of...
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just
And it's been great
fun
to see
and
the manufacturers respond as well.
Absolutely. But I guess the manufacturers mostly responded because they understood the benefits.
Yeah.
And basically the opportunities they have to really improve the performance of a bike.
Yeah.
People always refer to downhill racing being the Formula One of the bicycle industry. And now, of course, the roadies claim the same, and the cross-country guys, everybody in their world probably have the same approach. But, looking closer at downhill bikes, the way they're developed these days is just so high tech, and there's literally no aspect has been left untouched, from the kinematics to the materials.
Yeah.
If you look closer at some of the race bikes today, you mentioned the Athertons earlier. Look closer. They got these little bolt-on bridges in the rear triangle that are available in different thicknesses to adapt the stiffness of the rear triangle
we've all seen
for increased rider feel and traction, and
Commencal running different chainstays. I know Canyon are working on similar as well.
Right. So this is all crazy, and here we basically have an advantage that is a significant step forward. We briefly touched it when we talked about the Nikola bikes, but basically it's making sure that the unsprung mass, which is basically everything beyond the rear shock, it's all the parts that move on the bike.
Yeah.
The unsprung mass is affecting the performance of the rear suspension, actually on the front suspension as well. But on the fork and the front wheel, there's another lot of opportunities to actually change the weight of these components without sacrificing any other performance.
And if you want to know what that means, the thing I've just thought of, which I haven't thought of before, if you've got something like a lump hammer or a heavy hammer, if you hold it at the handle end, that's the equivalent to a normal bike.
Right.
Where you've got the weight far away at the end of the swing arm. Hold it at the head end, and that's going to feel a whole lot more lighter, responsive, easier to move, and more sensitive.
Absolutely. And at the same time, if you hold the hammer and you try to move it, you will always feel that it resists your movement.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that the unsprung mass does at the rear wheel. If this part is heavy, it's hesitant to react to.
Yeah, there's just inertia, isn't it?
That's exactly what it is. So I hope that explains this a little bit easier. But basically,
But the fact that, I mean, Atherton, Aeon, Intense, Zero, they're all super competitive brands.
Oh, 100%.
They're not just there for a laugh. They want a win. They're not just going, oh, well, the only chance we've got of winning is by going with belt drive. It's a big thing for those guys to go with the belt drive.
Absolutely. I mean, just look at...
that's not something... I mean, everything on these bikes is geared towards performance. So they're not going to compromise that
100%. I mean, just
with a non-effective drive system.
No. Look at all these bikes. I mean, if you have a chance to take a closer look at the Gamox bike that the Aeon team uses, this is like a piece of art. It's CNC machine front triangle with glued in carbon sheets to actually adjust the stiffness of the frame. Here we actually already see the latest version of the rear suspension system, which has been changed and improved over the course of the last year. This is just crazy, just like the Atherton. Obviously, you guys know it, but also if you look at how the Intense and Zero bikes have evolved over the years, it's just crazy. This is like you said, this is the pure approach to increase performance. And if you just look at the names of the riders who actually ride these bikes, it's not just someone who doesn't have a chance of winning is trying to...
Yeah, it's not just a privateer.
No.
Trying to make it. It's going for double or quits.
If you look at these 4 frames representing these individual teams and riders, if you look at this combined, there is so many world championship titles in here. Obviously with the Athertons, but also Charlie Hatton and Reese Wilson. I mean, Joe Breeden is one of the new up and comers and really skilled riders from the UK, and it's just amazing to see how this one idea all of a sudden creates such a big movement in the whole racing circuit, engineering, design, approach to suspension.
And also, like you said, they're already doing super well in EDR as well.
Right, absolutely. So maybe in short, all these bikes have gearboxes. All these bikes have a belt drive. This combination enables them to improve the suspension by centralizing the mass around the bottom bracket area.
They can change gear when they're not pedaling.
They can change gear when they're not pedaling. They can change gear under load without fear of snapping a chain, because these systems today are so reliable, and they can work with so much torque induced in the system, that makes them the ideal components for racing today. And you know, the aspect of the centralized mass is maybe something. If you look close at some of the race bikes today, you would be surprised to find that a lot of the riders in the World Cup circuits add weight to their bike.
Well, Jackson's running about. So, just been talking about adding weight to bikes, but again, that's something that's unconventional that turns out to add performance.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the whole Nikolai UT story, I guess, is about. It's about experimenting with stuff, and then maybe pursuing things that other people aren't doing to get the win. And also, I like the fact it brings us all the way back around to racing again.
Yeah.
But we've gone the full journey from EVs to, it's the full package, it's the full story of what bikes are now.
Yeah, and like I said, we try to think out of the box. And, this term is used very often, but this is truly outside of the box, because we're
But also, you're now thinking outside of the box section, going back to that original Nucleon.
Exactly. So, I guess you said it's all about racing, but ideally, everything we learn,
it's all about improving things for the rider.
That's the point I'm
trying to make.
Whether
it's the racer or it's the delivery guy.
Exactly, because all of the things we're talking about, in the end, will, if they prove to be good enough to make it into production, or into mass production for bicycles as a technology, they will provide a benefit for the rider. It will make the riding experience better. It will improve reliability, or if you're just a fan, it basically makes things more exciting. And me personally, I'm more excited than ever to follow the World Cup and watch the races.
Yeah.
And
finally, there's actually a prize worth racing for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And racing, maybe the last thing, you mentioned it earlier, we really proud of already being successful with Ollie Clark and Hattie.
Yeah.
That's just it's so great to see how quick they actually turn this idea.
Yeah, I think that's kind of surprised people.
Yeah.
Is how much take-up there's been, and also the success already.
Yeah. And it's just a couple days away from the next Downhill World Cup.
Better get this edited and out there.
Yeah.
Surprise might already have gone by then.
We don't know. La Tuile is going to be a really, really exciting venue. It's going to be, it's new for everybody. It's going to be, it's totally unpredictable who's going to do great there. Obviously, we got Jackson Goldstone proving to everybody right now that new riding styles are not just cool in the video, but actually make for some really, really impressive results.
It's all new.
Yeah,
it's improvement. It's evolution.
Absolutely.
And as long as we've been in this business, that's exciting. Yeah. It's still moving at this kind of pace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Elmar, thanks massively for your time. I know you've run over on a meeting, so huge thanks for him staying in front of the camera for us.
Appreciate your time as well.
I'll do the cheesy like, subscribe, click for notifications, Patreon if you really like the channel. But most of all, thanks to Elmar from Nikolai and UT for joining us on Guy-Kes TV to talk about history and the future.
Thanks, Kes.
Cheers, man.